Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Shyann Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Shyann Malone. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of The Small Business Show. According to JP Morgan, Black women are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs in the United States. And today, we are pleased to welcome the founder and CEO of Sistahs in Business Expo, Aisha Taylor Issah. Aisha has been featured in Black Enterprise on NBC, ABC, and several other shows, and now you're here. Welcome.
Thank you so much
Glad
for
to
having
have
me.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell us about your business, how it came about, and what you're doing for the community. So many things.
Sure. Again, thank you. The Sistahs in Business Expo, we are the country's only multi-city small business expo and community created specifically to celebrate and educate Black women entrepreneurs. And we do that in a variety of ways through our large-scale trade shows and expos, where we feature hundreds of vendors, speakers, panelists, experts, just these high-impact days of bringing together and celebrating and uplifting Black women entrepreneurs. And then we also have our Sistahs in Business University, where we teach and train on how to grow your business. We also have a nonprofit entity, which is the Sistahs in Business Foundation, where we give away grants through pitch competitions. And then most recently, we added the Sistah Shop, which is our retail and e-commerce destination that features over 150 Black women-owned brands from around the country. We have 2 locations, one in Atlanta and one in New Jersey.
Awesome. And how did you come up with the idea? Did you feel like there was a need for this?
That's exactly what happened. I was an entrepreneur myself. My sister and I owned a career consulting business for many years, and we always wanted ways and places where we could showcase our business, but we found that the traditional trade shows were very costly, or they were exclusive, or only for certain business types. And so when all of this buzz came out about Black women being the largest and fastest growing demographic, I really felt like there was a space where we needed access to promotion, access to education, and just a place where we could connect and grow together. And so that's really how this brand started. There was a need that I thought we should fill.
And now you're filling that void, it seems. What about the shop? Tell us about that. That's neat.
Oh, yes. It is our newest part of the brand, even though now I can't believe it's been 2 years. The Sistah Shop is really, we call it a sanctuary for sisterhood. Our brick and mortar locations act as a gateway for retail for many Black women entrepreneurs who have products that they would love to see on retail shelves, but aren't really sure how to get there or how to navigate that process. And so we have created these retail shops as well as an e-commerce destination where consumers can shop over 150 Black women-owned brands in everything, every category: clothing, accessories, skincare, hair care, just all about uplifting and supporting Black women entrepreneurs. And it has been quite the ride.
Tell us about that ride, right? Because with any type of success, obviously you're going to face some challenges. Can you tell us about any challenges that stick out in your mind today and how you overcome them?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, access to capital is one of the biggest challenges that we have faced and that many Black women entrepreneurs face. It's why we started our pitch competitions to be able to give grants, but we're a small business ourselves. And so often, hearing no or being able to get, in the right places at the right time to get the funding that you need to scale and grow your business. It's one thing to grow, but it's another thing to scale. And so we're at the point now where we're really looking to scale, and oftentimes it's hard to get the funding that you need to do that.
Any stories that you come to mind that you would want to share in regards to you helping other women?
Yeah, that's a great question. There are so many, and it's really those stories that keep us going, that keep us inspired and doing this work. One in particular is when we first opened our first retail store in 2021, and we were just kind of figuring things out, and we had a sister who put her products in our shop, and then just a few months later, she shared that she had 10x'd her revenue by being a part of the Sistah Shop. And so there's been countless stories like that, others who've participated in our expos and just by being in the room have gotten their next business partner or big client or big contract just because they trusted us with their brands and decided to participate as a vendor. And so we love hearing those stories, and it's really the motivation to keep doing this work.
I was going to say, what keeps you motivated with seeing stories like that on
a
regular basis? What message do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs? Any advice?
Yeah. Entrepreneurship is not easy. I never sugarcoat that. I always am, crystal clear about that, but it is possible. I think it's so important that when you're looking to start a business that you remember your why. Why did you start? What motivated you? And keep that at the forefront. There will be a lot of distractions. There'll be a lot of disappointments. But if you remember why you started, that will be the motivation you need to keep going. And if you stay consistent, you will see success. And it just takes time.
Did you always know that you were going to have your own business one day?
Absolutely not. Yeah. I did not. I grew up, in a very traditional, quote unquote, old school family where you went to school, you went to college, you got a job, you retired, and that was it. And so entrepreneurship found me. I did not find it. And I ran from it for a while for sure, but it has been something that I've not been able to escape. And I think it really is God's path for me.
How did you, kind of overcome like some of the naysayers or people that are like, well, that's not the traditional way and you should do it this way? Because I think a lot of people do face that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times they have good intention.
Sure.
It's just, what they're used to. And so you have to learn that you can't share everything with everyone. Sure. Sometimes you have to keep things close to your heart, share it with your inner circle, folks who will understand and support you. And then just be very selective about what you take in and what they say you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater or whatever that is, right? So you take the good in, and the things that are not so good, you kind of just leave them to the side. Does it hurt sometimes? Sure. But in the long run, they get it, right? So, like my mom, one of the most traditional people you'll meet who's like, you're crazy. You're going to quit your good job, but now she's like, when we going to the store, when are we going to go to the next expo? So they catch on eventually. And if they don't, it's all right too. You just keep doing what you've been called to do.
Any role models?
Yeah. Believe it or not, my mom, that work ethic.
Yeah.
That work ethic, that you do what you've been asked to do, that you show up on time, that you always put your best foot forward. Definitely. She has been a huge role model in my life, and so grateful for her presence. And then a lot of, hugely successful business women who have shared their stories and are very transparent, women like Oprah Winfrey,
sure.
and, who you look at them and you see, wow, if they came from that and were able to do it, then why can't I? And so there are everyday women entrepreneurs, Black women entrepreneurs who I've been able to connect with, who have shared and poured into me and inspired me. So I'm grateful for all of those connections.
So you've got the expo, the shop. Also, you said there's a
university.
I was going to say the proper term. Any other plans? What's the future hold for you?
Yes, that's the $1 million question, right? And it probably will cost $1 million.
If you earn more than that, then we're good, right?
Yes, we would love to expand to additional locations across the country. I think ultimately we would want to franchise the Sister Shop brand so that you would have sister shops all over the country.
Yes.
And then just continue to grow our e-commerce footprint. The great thing about e-commerce, of course, is that you can serve people all over the country.
Sure.
And we have been pinned as the Amazon of Black women-owned brands.
Nice.
And so we want people to shop with us like they shop with Amazon and realize that we're a one-stop shop for everything you need when you're looking to support Black women-owned businesses.
Okay. Any final thoughts for us before we say goodbye, Aisha?
Yeah, just thank you. Thank you for continuing to provide platforms for businesses like mine. This is one of the most critical pieces when you're looking to grow a business. It's just that support and that partnership and exposure with media, with corporations and things like that. So I want to thank you and just encourage everyone, don't give up, keep going. What God has for you is for you.
I love the words of wisdom. Aisha Taylor Issah, thank you so much. Founder and CEO of Sistahs and Business Expo.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of The Small Business Show with Shyann Malone, exclusively on ASBN.com.